Happy Monday. Welcome back to Monday. Today, I was asking my dad, because our lawsuit ended on September 19th, which was like a Friday. So I think it's been maybe, what do we got? 11, 12 days or something like that. And I was asking him if he feels any different. Because I feel a little bit different, but I don't feel like... I'm not free. I don't even know what the right word is. Like, I think after going through something that's stressful for that amount of time, so like from the date of the first argument, well, not the first argument, because there was probably like years of like warning, right? In like 2005, 2006, especially the year, like the end of 2005 when I met my husband. Like I met him in October. That's when I started seeing like other weird signs. I'm like, I don't want to be around this person anymore. And then through 2006, after I got married in 2007, things got even worse. And I look back now and really, this person was just so controlling of not just me or my dad, but everything in their world. And it's not good. You know, like people need free will to be happy and that kind of thing. And I think when you're in that like stressful like lawsuit situation, and people ask, well, like, why are lawsuits so stressful? Because it's just, so anybody can sue you for anything, right? I mean, bullshit stuff is going to get tossed out, sure. But at the second they put it in the system and file the motion and you're served, and if they have a complaint and they take it to that point where they're going to like bring it to the court, file it, and ask for a judge to hear over it. I mean, it could be something like they put too much mayonnaise on my sandwich. Like you can sue anyone for anything. When you do that, does it upset the judges and piss them off that you are wasting their time over frivolous shit? Yes, it does. And they can punish you for it. They can, okay? Be careful with that. Sometimes they just dismiss it and like, look at this garbage. You do that too many times to the same person and it goes in front of the same judge like repeatedly, then that person gets in trouble. So while you can sue anyone for anything, a lot of stuff gets dismissed. A lot of stuff gets settled out of court. My stuff was like just between the families. And this is what happens with families. Like you get close. You're supposed to be able to trust each other, I guess. But then I think some people take advantage of that. Like they can treat you badly and you'll stay just because you're blood relatives. So I will say that this whole lawsuit thing has really changed my view of family. And I am so not careful, not picky. Like if I hang out with you, like I have thought about it for a very long time. A very long time. And I have looked at who's in your circle and what your life is like. And because I've just been through too much, you know? Like if there's somebody that I think could like hurt me in some way or form, like we're acquaintances. We will never be friends, you know? That's cool. I have lots of acquaintances. I have very few friends. I have even fewer family members that I consider a family. But the whole thing with lawsuits and why they're so stressful is it's like an ongoing fight that someone else gets to decide. And they decide based on laws and previous instances. So you have like legal laws and then you have case law, like stuff that happens from cases previously. So a lot of times, like what I would think the average person would consider to be like a fair judge, like this should be fair. Like a lot of times in the legal system, there is no fair. I would have to like go back through the stuff and give the examples from our case and that, but I recently, since my case ended, and I have had conversations with two people also going through lawsuits. One girl, hers was like a year and a half. And it affected her business, kind of like mine affected my business. She said she like shut down. She stopped going to school. She couldn't work. Like, she was afraid to invest anymore in her business. She's like, what if I invest all of this and I lose it? So she pretty much put her life on hold. And I think a lot of people in lawsuits tend to put their lives on hold because you don't know. So there's my one friend she's in Colorado. She had a 1.5-year lawsuit. My other friend, she is in Washington State, and she is in a 4th year of a lawsuit that has like gone through several jurisdictions. And so this guy keeps suing her for the same thing multiple times. And it was thrown out of 3 courts, but this, or 4 courts in 4 different states. But this last one he filed is in Nevada, and it's sticking. So she, like, it's going to trial. She's 4 years in, you know, and because she was asking me about vacations. I'm like, my daughter is 11. She's been on 1 vacation. In October of 2021, my friend got married, and I forced myself to like close my business for 3 days and take my daughter on a road trip. And she was 9. I mean, that's sad because when I was her age, like, I had seen probably every state in the country. And it's not that I can't afford to take her, but when you go through stuff like this, the lawsuit stuff, you are so concerned with the unknown and how much it's going to cost you financially. Because it's not like you can just be like, I quit, I don't want to pay this anymore. Like, if you quit and you stop showing up to court, you could lose by default. And then you could pay even more than if you were to just pay the legal fees. And so it's a big thing of unknown. You don't know what's going to happen to you financially. You don't know how it's going to affect you emotionally afterwards. It affects you emotionally going through it because it's just overwhelming. And it's really slow. Like, it'd be nice if you can have the argument and every day you work on it. But the way the court system works is like, and especially during COVID, oh my gosh. Like, there would be months where we didn't go to court because of COVID and the system all backed up, you know? And it's just, bleh. And you know, you go to trial, you get your judgment, and the judgments, like ours was, you have to sell all of these partnerships you have together and separate, which would be fine, but like, it gets to the point where you keep going back to the court because you have to, like, you can't agree on how to sell it or what to list it for. And then the judge has to decide, like, every little thing. Like, I don't know. There's, like, a leftover, you know, pencil on this desk. Who gets this pencil? I got cut off. Yes. But lawsuits are extremely stressful. I mean, from the battle that started, like, the one fight that happened on, like, I think the fight, I can't remember if the September 12th was like a Thursday or a Friday, but I remember it being close to the weekend. And I remember there was, like, on the 11th, there was this 4-hour horrible phone call between, like, all of the business partners. And it's just like, holy shit, this, like, I just remember, like, looking at my dad. I'm like, I can't, like, be a part of this. I'm out. And he's like, well, if you're out, then I'm out too. And he was like a 50-50 partner. So, you know, I'm only just like, I'm a needle in the haystack over there, you know. But it's for the majority of the shit. But I don't know. I felt bad. I shouldn't feel bad. I brought a lot of stuff to my dad's attention that his world was really fucked up and built on a house of cards, and, like, this guy's taking all your shit, you know? And I don't know if he, like, ignored it or is like, oh, he wouldn't do that to me. I don't know. But, you know, that my dad wrote a letter on September 12th of 2008, like, that he's just like, I can't, there's no recouping from this for me. Like, I'm out. And, like, there was, like, it wasn't like a how could we work on this to make this work. It was downright bullying from, like, through all, like, the rest of 2008, that couple months, all of 2009. So it was like maybe 13, 14 months of bullying. And then it comes like January of was it like 2010, and that's because I think like for the most part they were like the partners were trying to work it out between themselves. In 2010 I told my dad, I'm like, you have to get like a lawyer and sue to close and draw a line in the sand and sue for them to give you your stuff and for them to sell it, because you can't even agree to disagree. It's just like a mess, you know. So there was like a good year, like maybe year 13, 14 months of fighting before it even got into like the first motion was filed. And you know, then people have to be served, and you got people being served in multiple states, and in some states the police do it, and then you send it to the police department like, oh no, in this county the police don't do that, you have to file or hire a private processor, you know. So it was, I mean, I think it took like 9 months just to serve everybody. And then what do you do in the meantime with your like livelihood and that? Like you can't really like move on, and you can move on and get a job and all that, but it's really hard to focus on something growing positive when you have all this negative stuff like just floating around in the background, all these negative unknowns that you're gonna owe people money, it's gonna cost you money, and then people countersue, and you can countersue for everything. I mean, we're being sued for millions of dollars over projects that it was like a $40,000 project, and you're gonna sue me for $1 million. Like, I think my you know, 30-year-old self was like, holy fuck, am I gonna have to pay $1 million for a $40,000 job, which really I only made like $5,000? And I mean, I've never had even so much as a traffic ticket, so I had no clue like how this stuff goes. I've never been to like traffic court, I've never been to criminal court, I've never been to civil court at this time. My parents have been married forever. Like, I just live in a non-confrontational world over here. And so this is like the last 15 years was just like dripping apart of families. My life as I thought I knew it would be like having kids, and who my kids would, you know, grow up with, my great aunts and uncles, like all that stuff was just gone, just taken. And it's taken in the sense that I had to let it go, because that's not what I want growing up, I never would have imagined that this kind of stuff would happen. But lawsuits are so stressful. It's just like having that like punched in the stomach, I'm gonna vomit feeling, and until it's over, it's just not over. And I think like mine lasting the way it did, and all the stuff that went on in between of those lawsuits, and people outside of the lawsuit suing me stuff because like they knew that I was in a position where like they could take advantage of this thing. It was just really fucking gross. And I've lost at least $1 million, probably more. That does not include my legal fees. That's just like stuff that was lost, like assets, and having to like sell things, not because you wanted to, but because you had to, and the housing market was shit, and properties worth like, you know, 20 cents on the dollar, like you just lost, you know. And to recover from that, I've never had a chance to fully recover, because it hadn't officially ended. I mean, this is 15 years, 7 days, and it ended like 12 days ago. So for my new projects, I actually have decided to no longer have any type of business partners whatsoever. And I have started my new businesses under assumed names and stuff, because I don't want to be easily found at this point. I don't want anybody messing with my business. I don't want family to know about it. I'm not talking about what I'm doing right now. It's gonna be a while, you know. But yeah, and I gained like almost 100 pounds, really, because I was maybe 107, 110 pounds when the lawsuit started, and now I got up to 200 in December of last year, 2022. That's when I'm like, screw this, I don't feel right, all this stuff is wrong. Went to doctors, whatever, They're like, there's nothing physically wrong with you. Like, I'm borderline high cholesterol, borderline blah, 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 blah. But like, you know, the longer you stay in this obese state, the longer that stuff affects you too. And I went and saw a psychiatrist. That was not good. They did not like help me work through anything. They just wanted to give me medication. I went to a counselor who just like, I was talking, but she wasn't like asking anything. So finally in December, I went and found myself, I researched because I wanted to find a psychotherapist, like somebody who's going to like listen to me, but like help me at the same time, because I don't know what they need to hear type of thing, you know? And she was the one who, after maybe 5 or 6 weeks, diagnosed me with CPTSD from the lawsuit stuff that happened. And then several months after that, she's like, I went and did all the testing for ADHD, and I have like ADHD, moderate inattentive, whatever. So yeah, because I'm like, I feel shut down, but she's like, let's try the PTSD, because like PTSD, people say it's not curable. I think PTSD or CPTSD is not curable in the respect that you can't change what happened to you. It's never gonna fully go away. You know, you can't like undo assaults and shootings and all that kind of stuff, but you can work through the feelings in your body to where you know that happened to you, but it doesn't have to like emotionally affect you and mess up your nervous system. So that's what I'm working on now. And the more that I work on that, and the more my body just kind of relaxes and lets go, like the more weight I'm losing. So now I'm down 20 pounds. I've just started again on my Weight Loss Journey 2.0, which I'll link if you want to go watch those videos. But like, this lawsuits really mess up your life. And when I was going through mine, I really had no one to talk to about it. I didn't know anybody who was going through it, you know, and then my friends and family would ask me about it. And then there comes a time where you just stop talking about it because it was just embarrassing to me for them to be like, oh, how's that going? Whatever happened to that? I'm like, oh, it's still happening. It's still going on. They're like, really? Yes, really. It's still happening. It's still going on. And it was funny because when it was over, and my lawyer told me on the Friday that happened, like all this stuff was signed by the court. And then he called me Monday to tell me about it. It happened Friday. He called me on Monday. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I didn't believe him almost, you know? And then on Tuesday, which was like September 22nd, 23rd, like I actually got copies of all the documents from the court. And then it was like, oh, like this is real. But like, I feel like since that, like, how much freer do you feel? I don't know, like 2%, you know? It's 15 years of living a certain way. And it gets to a point where I actually had to start my healing journey while this stuff was going on. Like, I had to compartmentalize my life. I had to, you know, decide how I was going to treat holidays and family members, and like boundaries there. And, you know, that's in one category. I had to like, what am I going to do for work while this is working so I can be local and be here for my kid? Like, you know, that I had to compartmentalize and fix that. And then I had to like fix my debt and my finances, so this stuff was not like a constant bleed. You know, I had to like, I feel like the compartmentalizing in the work I've done during the lawsuit was just to like stop me from bleeding out. And now I possibly have a chance to, you know, remove those tourniquet things and actually heal the limbs. So that is what I'm working on. Lawsuits suck. I personally don't have a lot of faith in the legal system or law enforcement. You know, like, I support law enforcement, but from my personal experience, I've been through some really shitty stuff where they're like, yeah, but it's a civil matter. And you're like, but he took my shit. Yeah, but it's in court. Like, he fucking stole my shit. Like, if that was a stranger, yeah, but it's in the civil court. Like, ugh, you know, it's yucky. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, for those of you who are watching this, who have been through like a long, I don't know, like an icky divorce or a bad custody dispute, or, you know, business partner who embezzled, or, you know, somebody who breached their financial, fiduciary responsibilities, and you lost all your retirement and your money. Like, these are the kind of people that I needed when I was going through this, but I couldn't find them. And it's funny because, like, my stuff has ended in a week, and since I have kind of just put it out there that it has ended, like, I'm getting kind of flooded with people that are currently going through stuff and who just like also just wrapped up going stuff. And it's like, wow, I'm not alone. So I think the feeling that I'm not alone has helped immensely. And I really do feel for those people who are going through lawsuits and your just stomach is in knots and you're just miserable and stuff. I will say that if it goes on for a long period of time, eventually you get used to it. I'm not saying that's healthy, but you get used to it. And like, when you get that nasty email or you get that emotion to like put something else in the mix and sue you for something else, you just kind of like, okay, you can't get blood out of a turnip. So, all right, that's not healthy either. It's a very messed up thing. To all those people going through lawsuits and like legal matters that you just feel like the whole world is out of control, I feel for you. Like, hugs and love. If you want me to pray for you, comment below, I'll pray for you. It's like a messy thing and it just can't get over fast enough. But that is that. And now I'm gonna go back to work because it's 11:50 and I have not really accomplished much today. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I have one more quick thing I want to add. Someone asked me, how do you deal with confrontation now versus before the lawsuit? I think I didn't have a lot of confrontation before, and when the confrontation did happen, I was more able to step back and process everything thoroughly in my head. I think years after going through the lawsuit and just being so frustrated and angry all the time, I used to be a person who rarely swore to like a person who was like swearing and it's exploding all the time, because I think I'm the only girl in this whole mix, and if I'm not louder and more shocking, I get overlooked and ignored. But I think and unfortunately that behavior worked. The shit got done. When I lost my shit got done. You can't be nice, especially when it's your time and your money. You get to a point where you're like, so now if I see something coming my way, I do just and I think people look at me and expect me to be quiet and well, if you don't do this, and where I would be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Now I'm just like, fuck you. Fuck off. I don't have to do shit. Ever. I really don't. Sue me. Haha. Been there. It's not... I don't want to be that way. I don't. But I am. I'm just very I will rip you to shreds before you can even touch me. And that is just... That's what life has done to me to this point. So I have to calm it down. And I'm just really careful about who I let around me because, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm working on trying to be not so... I don't want to use reactionary. You should react to things that bother you and that. I just, my experience with people is, especially from a business and when there's a lot of money involved, people get weird, and you really have to, what I have learned is you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to you either take it for a while and explode, or you just shut it down before it even starts. I am to the point in my life right now where I shut the shit down before it even starts. I won't. I don't wait for well, let's wait till it happens again. No, it wasn't acceptable. It happened the first time. No, it's done, you know. But am I like an angry person, upset all the time? No, actually, I'm a very happy person for the most part. Like, I'm always laughing about some kind of shit. I mean, even through the lawsuit, I could laugh every day. It's just, you know, you got that whole thing in the back of your mind that just, it's like a dark cloud, man. It's like living in Transylvania. But, yeah, that's it. And nothing else to share today.